a wonderful performance here tonight on the trial of Claude versus the Beast. Claude is accusing the Beast, really the prince, of impersonating a beast to gain the affection of Belle. And so we will see he's being charged with alienation of affections in addition to some other crimes. A couple of things I want to mention to you. When the play is done tonight, of course, we'll introduce the cast. But on your way out, you will receive a scavenger hunt form that between here and next door, we also have some exhibits at the Guam Museum. So if you haven't had a chance to go to the Guam Museum, I encourage you to go there, try to get the scavenger hunts filled out, and then you can turn them in. And unfortunately, you have to be present to win, but we have some Samsung tablets that are available. So parents can help their children or their grandchildren fill out the scavenger hunt forms and go from here to the museum. We also have food trucks that are in between the two venues, so please support them. They came out here tonight, you know, at our request, so it's hopeful that we can support them in some minor way while you're here tonight. So enjoy the food that the food trucks bring tonight, and also enjoy the exhibits that are over at the Guam Museum. So with that, I'll now turn it over to the bailiff to please call in the jury and the judge.
A sunny morning at the village courthouse, the bailiff enters the courtroom and calls the case of Claude versus the prince, formerly known as the Beast. Claude is seated with his attorney at the plaintiff's table. Claude is very flashily dressed and admiring his reflection in a hand mirror. A number of his friends are seated in the row behind him and are being a bit too loud for a courtroom. They are smoking large cigars and acting as though they expect this to be an entertaining show for their amusement. The prince is seated with his attorney at the defendant's table. He is dressed in a simple but elegant manner. Beauty and her father, Marchand, are seated directly behind the prince. His faithful servants are also seated in a row behind the defendant's table. The gallery is full of people from the village, many of whom have brought along bread and cheese and tea and are sharing breakfast with each other.
All rise. The Superior Court of Guam is now in session of the Honorable Judge Xylo Gastin presiding. Please bring in the jury. Please be seated. Will the clerk please call the case? This is the case of Claude versus the Prince. Appearing for the plaintiff, Claude, is Caleb Boyd. Appearing for the Prince is attorney Catherine Tai. The This is the case of Claude versus the prince. As I understand the pleadings filed in this case, the charge against the prince is that he was living under the sin and envy of the beast, which misled those of whom he came to conduct, and he alienated the affectionate beauty from the plaintiff. Do counsel for the parties in wish to make any opening statement?
Your Honor and members of the jury, in this case, I will show that the defendant, the prince, disguised himself as a hideous beast in order to trick Beauty into taking pity on him. After she began to feel sorry for him, in fact found love of the beast, he showed himself to her and stole Beauty's heart from the handsome gentleman to my left, my client Claude. Thank you, Honor, kind members of the jury.
Does counsel for the prince wish to make an opening statement?
Your Honor, members of the jury, although Claude was mugged in pursuing the affection of Beauty, I will show that he is not the type of person that Beauty would care for, because he's so very foolish and vain and can't imagine any woman would reject him. He now attempts to blame his failure with Beauty on my client, the prince. I will show that the prince did not choose to appear as a beast, nor did the prince have anything to do with Beauty's decision to reject Claude as her suitor. Thank you, Your Honor, and members of the jury.
Thank you, plaintiff. Please call your first witness.
I call Claude as my first witness.
Bailiff, please swear the witness.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give, that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? My dear man, I have never been known to lie.
Just idea would be sufficient.
Very well, I do. Please state your name.
Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E.
Thank you. Your address, please.
22 Mary Maker Lane. All I had two young men in a village living in a complex, had a good muscle-building gym, well, as you know.
Ah, yes. Well done. You'll please tell the jury how you first be acquainted with Beauty.
Of course. I was running with a few of my pals. We like to walk around to watch the ladies of the road. While I think around this Saturday, they didn't get the opportunity to see us out in a bus. Just last Saturday, for example.
Claude, you're telling the members of the jury how you first met Beauty.
Oh yes, but as I said, we were out on a Saturday morning stroll when we saw this curious young woman walking down a lane in which her nose buried a book. As if anything in the book could be more interesting than a bunch of getting guys like us.
Could you describe the young woman?
She was very plainly dressed because she had been living in the country with her family. Since her father lost his fortune in a series of shipping disasters, so Beauty, so innocent, so beautiful, almost on a par with me. I decided right then she will be my wife.
Is she present in the courtroom today?
Yes, she is. She's seated right in the first row, right next to Crazy Father Merchant, a formerly wealthy merchant.
Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike the offensive reference to my client's father-in-law.
Objection sustained. The jury is to disregard the reference to Marchin.
Did you speak to Beauty that morning?
No, I did. I had no time. I wanted to rush home and to make plans for the wedding.
What happened next?
I went to Beauty's house to ask her to marry me. I asked my friend Pierre to bring
beauty's other suitors from the virtual witness the wedding.
How could you be sure that Beauty will say yes?
Who wouldn't say yes? All the young ladies in here love to be my wife. I'm so very lovely.
And so, did Beauty agree to marry you?
Well, no, actually, she didn't. Now it tipped me off to the fact that someone had been influencing her.
Did she eventually marry someone else?
Yes, she married a friend and the prince.
Did the prince approach Beauty in a straightforward way as you had?
No, that way is so unfair. He disguised himself as a humble and ignorant beast to win Beauty's sympathy. How could I compete with that? What woman will ever feel sorry for me? I never had so much as a pimple on this face of mine.
Thank you, Claude. I have no further questions for this witness.
Would you like to cross-examine this witness? Just one question, Your Honor, if I may. Certainly, go right ahead. Claude, had Beauty met the Beast at the time you asked her to marry you?
Why, I don't really know. Nobody had heard of the Beast yet. But she must know the Beast. I want you to turn down my proposal.
Order in the courtroom. Bailiff, remove anyone that cannot keep quiet. And whoever's eating their breakfast in the back, please put that straw away. It's making us all hungry. I have no further questions for this witness. You may step down. Plaintiff, you may call your next witness.
I call Pierre.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give, that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name.
Pierre, were you present at the time Claude was to be married to Beauty?
Yes, I was. I was in charge about the witnesses for the wedding. We were all set up outside of Beauty's house waiting to witness the ceremony.
What happened?
The door opened suddenly and Claude came out and Beauty shut the door after him. How embarrassing for him. He was all in front of all the former suitors. I got to say he didn't look quite so handsome with such a red face.
Did Beauty refuse to marry Claude?
Yes, she did. She married the Beast. I mean the prince.
I have no further questions.
I would like to cross-examine this witness briefly, Your Honor. Very well, please do. Pierre, aren't you Claude's best friend? Yes, I am. Beauty had never agreed to marry Claude, had she? Well, not exactly, but any girl would thank her when he proposed. I don't think he proposed. Strictly speaking, I think he told her, well, he decided to marry her. I have no further questions. You may step down, Pierre. Plaintiff, you might call your next witness.
We have finished our case, Your Honor. The plaintiff rests.
Very well. Counsel for defendant, please call your first witness. Your Honor, as my first witness, I call the prince formerly known as the Beast.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give, that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Please state your name.
The Prince.
Where do you live?
In a nice castle deep in the forest, a quiet distance from the village.
Have you ever been known as the Beast?
Yes, I was the Beast, but believe me, it wasn't my idea.
Would you please explain for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
When I was young, I was spoiled and selfish. I was also a quiet, arrogant, and considered much like the plaintiff Claude.
Objection, Your Honor. I move to strike this unwarranted character assassination.
Objections abstain. The jury is to disregard the reference to the plaintiff. Prince, please keep that testimony to the facts.
I am sorry, Your Honor.
Please continue.
Well, one day a wicked fowl turned me into a beast because she saw me that I was so vain. I have to only love her for winning. While I was a form of a beast, or I will remain a beast forever.
It is no easy task to earn someone's love when you are a hideous beast, is it?
Well, let's put it this way. It's a love offer to me, woman, with all I can cope with for a few blind days. When I showed up at the door, most of them fainted dead away. I had given up and stayed in the castle in despair.
What happened to change that?
Beauty's father, Marcha, got lost in the forest onto the way to the market. His latest photo, the egg fire toasted cat, but a alarm clock.
Silence in the courtroom. If you do not be quiet, I'll have the bailiff clear the courtroom. Please continue.
When her father took a rose from one of my rose bushes, I told him that he must remain at the castle forever as a punishment for violating my hospitality. Beauty, who was devoted to her father, came to the castle to take his place.
What happened next?
Well, to shorten the story, Beauty began to feel sorry for me. We got to know each other a bit, and she even began to feel affection for me. Still, I don't think she considered me dating material yet, if you know what I mean. After a while, she left the castle to visit her father because she was all alone.
Did she come back?
Yes, but out of jealousy, her sisters came to visit while she was there and tricked her into staying past the 7 days. We had agreed upon for her return. When Beauty thought of how upset I would be, she left very badly and returned to the castle. She also realized how much she missed me.
What happened when she returned?
Beauty found me unconscious in the garden. When I thought that Beauty was not going to return, I have resolved to die of hunger. Beauty realized that she loved me. When we told each other that we loved each other, I immediately transformed from the beast into a prince.
You did not disguise yourself as a beast to trap Beauty, did you?
No, I certainly did not. It was entirely voluntary, as I have testified.
Did you attempt to win Beauty's affections from Claude?
No, actually, I didn't even know Claude or Beauty for that matter, because I've been isolated in the castle for so many years. Mostly I've been watching reruns of Gilligan's Island. I have no further questions.
Counsel for Claude. Do you wish to cross-examine this witness?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Please go ahead.
You testified that beauty began to feel affection for you, even though you are a beast. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
In fact, you're keeping beauty as a prisoner in your castle, weren't you?
But only for a while. I was a beast after all. I naturally did a few beastly things. It was only after I let her go to return to her father that she realized how much he cares about me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down. Counsel, please call your next witness.
As my next witness, I'll call Beauty. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give, that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Beauty, had you met the beast at the time you rejected Claude's marriage proposal?
No, I had not. I did not meet the beast until I went to the castle in exchange for my father.
Did you ever have any interest in Claude?
Oh, no. First of all, I wanted to spend a few more years with my father. He was so depressed about his business failure. Also, Claude was much too obnoxious and vulgar, and a total trick to boot. He spent his evenings at the village disco. I like to spend a great deal of my time reading and thinking. We will never click.
I have no further questions.
Is there any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
You may step down, Beauty. Please call your next witness.
I have no other witnesses defended with Your Honor.
Counsel for Claude. Do you have any rebuttal, or does that conclude the evidence?
I have nothing further.
Do the parties wish to make closing arguments?
Yes, Your Honor. It is clear from the case presented by Claude, and in fact supported by the defendant's own case, that the prince, disguised as a beast, wore the affections of Beauty away from Claude. Of course, Beauty's testimony contradicts that story, but she's now married to the prince. You should disregard her testimony as biased. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am sure you can see through this fabrication and will find in favor of Claude.
Counsel for the prince.
Yes, Your Honor, members of the jury. I would like to thank you for the time you have given up to hear this matter, but I would also like to apologize to you for the waste of that time. As you can see, Claude has no case. He is simply angry and embarrassed because Beauty fell in love with the beast instead of with Claude. The guy basically does not have a clue. The prince is not responsible for that turn of events, as this entire village knows Beauty is an unusual person. She is clearly more interested in substance than in Claude's vain posturing. In fact, she was never interested in Claude. More significantly, for purposes of this case, Beauty did not even know the Beast at the time she rejected Claude's marriage proposal. Furthermore, the prince did not voluntarily disguise himself as a beast. He was under a spell of a wicked fairy. Members of the jury, the prince spent many years as a beast and learned the lesson the wicked fairy intended him to learn. I am sure that you will reject the foolish charges brought by Claude, and perhaps that will teach Claude a lesson as well.
I move to strike the reference to my client needing to be taught a lesson.
Cancel. This is only argument. The evidence will speak for itself. Members of the jury, it is your job to decide whether the prince is guilty of disguising himself as a beast and alienating the affectionate Beauty, or whether the prince was involuntarily made a beast. And Beauty made an independent decision regarding Claude. Please go with the bailiff to the jury room, and after you have reached a verdict, please come back and inform the court of your verdict.
So while we're waiting for the jury to deliberate and come back with their verdict, I want to take this opportunity to recognize some very special guests in the room. First of all, I want to recognize the speaker of Iminentrenta Quatru Nailes Lutur and Guahan, our host for this evening, Speaker B.J. Cruz, and Legislative Secretary Senator Regine Bisco-Lee, and my favorite senator, Senator Mary Camacho Torres. So while the jury's deliberating, let me see, how many think that the prince is guilty of impersonating a beast to gain the affection of Beauty? Guilty? Guilty verdicts? How many think the prince is not guilty? Quite a few not guilties. You must have seen the story. Let's see what the jury decides.
Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have.
What is that verdict?
The jurors have voted and we find the prince not guilty.
Would you like to poll the jurors? Would the clerk please poll the jurors?
Juror number 1, is that your verdict? Yes, Your Honor. Juror number 2, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 3, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 4, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 5, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 6, is that your verdict?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 7, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 8, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 9, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 10, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
The verdict is unanimous, Your Honor.
I want to thank the jury for their service in this case. You are now dismissed.
All rise.
Congratulations to everyone. Let's give them a big round of applause. All right. Please allow me to introduce the characters, and I'd ask them to come up here. First of all, we'll start with the jurors. Hayden Regis. Hayden, please come up here. Jaden Tiong, please come up, Jaden. Jarek Sinlau. Jarek, is Jarek here? Zion Baleto. Zion. Jacob Dizon. Victor Zhu. Troy Soto. Terry No. All right. And the other jurors, please come up. Even our pinch hitters. We had a couple from the audience, alternate jurors who were selected. All right. Now, and the speaking juror was Macy Valencia. All right. All right. So now, for the clerk, we have Wen Chin Lu. Please come up here. Our bailiff, Cara Palomo. Cara. Beauty sisters, Maya Echon and Maya Hart Cruz. Marshawn Jayan Celino. Pierre Talon St. Nicholas. Talon. Beauty, Matilda Matsumiya. Claude, Elijah Sawada. Plaintiff's counsel, excellent job, counsels. Kayla Faith Boyd. And defendant's counsel, Iris Danting. And our judge, Zyler San Augustine. So if you can line up here, please. And I do want to tell you, the performance was shown live on the legislative channel. So it was on channel 117 as well as on YouTube. Thank you to the speaker and the Guam legislature. So you can also go back to the legislative website and watch it on their YouTube website. The link is found on the legislative website and you'll be able to see it. So please, all of you stand up here. And I'd like to have the teachers. Oh, I missed the prince. Jaden Montanani, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, everyone come on up. And I'd like to have the faculty from Mercy Heights, all of the ones who have assisted, please join us up here.
Say hello.
And you guys take a step back and then take a bow. Take a step back because you're going to take a bow.
Hello.
All right, sisters, please join us.
Hello.
All right. All right, sisters, please join us. And speaker and senators who are here, can you please join us? Speaker.
Hello.
And I please want to remind you, please go to the food trucks, go next door, get the scavenger hunt, go next door to the Guam Museum, and get yourselves entered with those Samsung tablets.